2,000 years ago, a general so clever and so terrifying would shake the world pelling. His name was Hannibal Barca.
We cannot allow them to cross the Alps.
Then orders came to stop fighting. The mighty Carthaginian navy had just been destroyed by Rome.
The Carthaginian politicians wanted peace, Conrad. They were traders, not warriors. Hamilcar's fury was unmatched. The treaty felt like chains on his honor. Rome had won the First Punic War, and Carthage was left in ashes and debt.
That night, he made his son vow never to bow to Rome.
They seized silver mines to pay Rome's debt and began training a new army.
We must be vigilant. The enemy is near.
His successor Hasdrubal ruled briefly, until a dagger ended his command.
The army hailed Hannibal as their new leader. In 219 BCE, the campaign reached a Roman allied town. From that moment, there was no turning back. It was a nightmare, but somehow he made it through.
Rome couldn't believe it, Coleni. He'd actually done it.
The Celts joined him, mostly because they hated Rome more than the cold. His cavalry crushed the Romans in their first encounter. With half his army gone, Hannibal marched into Italy anyway. Back in Rome, the Senate scrambled to respond, but politics moved slower than elephants.
Meanwhile, Hannibal was already deep in Italy, ready for his first major clash. Crossing rivers, mountains, and frozen lands, nothing could stop his advance.
The Roman general Scipio tried to regroup, but found Hannibal everywhere at once. At the river Ticinus, Hannibal's cavalry overwhelmed the Romans in minutes. Scipio the Younger again saves his father's life. His legend begins. That night, Hannibal planned something Rome could never expect. The Romans awoke cold, hungry, and totally unprepared for what came next. Hannibal attacked at dawn, baiting the Romans into a trap. In the freezing Trebia, Roman soldiers crossed a death trap of cold and chaos. Thousands fell. Hannibal's tactics were perfect, brutal, brilliant, and shocking.
Barely a handful survived to tell the tale.
Rome was furious, terrified, and confused all at once. For Hannibal, victory was routine. He was unstoppable. Rome sent new consuls and armies, but they too would meet disaster. Hannibal attacked from all sides, a wall of death emerging from the fog. Panic spread along the water's edge as the ambush collapsed the Roman line. Desperate, Rome turned to one man, of Owens, Fabius Maximus, the delayer. He harassed the Carthaginians like a shadow, cutting off supplies and food.
Hannibal wanted a fight, Canhert. Fabius refused to give him one.
The people of Rome mocked their own dictator, calling him coward and turtle. Hannibal burned the countryside to lure him sade, but Fabius stayed calm. The Senate hated the waiting game and replaced Fabius when his term ended. Rome elected two new consuls, Varro and Paulus, total opposites forced to share command.
Paulus, on the other hand, was cautious. He knew Hannibal was no ordinary foe.
Together they raised the largest army Rome had ever seen. Pogwingwung, 86,000 men. When Hannibal saw their size, he smiled. This was his masterpiece in the making. The night before battle, the air was thick with dread, reeling, and destiny. Hannibal arranged his army with precision, veterans on the sides, recruits in the center. Varro believed sheer numbers would crush the enemy. He couldn't have been more wrong. The Romans charged, forming a giant hammer aimed straight at Hannibal's center. Hannibal's front line intentionally bent Ornos, pretending to break.
Paulus sensed something was off, but Varro ignored every warning.
Then Hannibal's elite African infantry turned and attacked from both sides.
The Romans were trapped, packed, shoulder to shoulder, unable to move or swing their swords.
At that moment, Hannibal's cavalry closed the rear Huggev Melem, a perfect encirclement. Hannibal had encircled an army twice his size, a feat unmatched in history. The battle raged for hours, a relentless dance of death and desperation. Tens of thousands fell. He would never forget the horror, or the man who caused it. But for Hannibal, victory was not enough. He wanted Rome itself. Advisors urged a march on Rome, but Hannibal held his nerve. Instead, he sought allies, and many Italian cities switched sides. But Rome refused to surrender, and they built new armies from scratch.
Fabius Maximus returned, reminding everyone, patience wins wars.
Hannibal's brother tried to reach him, but Rome intercepted and destroyed his army.
Inside lay his brother's severed head. Even Hannibal could only stare in silence.
How could they betray their own people, their own king, for a taste of power. He landed in Africa, still undefeated, still feared. The old king's decree was clear. The northern pass must be held at all costs.
Cavalry! Encircle them!
He had fought the greatest war of his time, and lost with dignity. The world changed forever, and their names, Hannibal and Scipio, would echo through time.